If you haven't gone all in on YouTube, you need to watch this video right now. Every person watching this has the opportunity to build a business and brand around doing what they love. There are no excuses. You can even grab your cell phone, start picking it up and start filming so that you can start creating content and building a community and your own personal brand today. What most people don't realize is a life-changing opportunity that we're living in right now. I've seen women go from literally zero, not making any money, to 6 figures in less than a year, just from the decision that they were going to go all in on YouTube. Your life can transform completely in the next 12 months if you just start taking action. And if you decide to go all in on YouTube and prioritize your YouTube channel. And this isn't just talk. I've helped over 1,500 women do exactly this, and I'm gonna show it to you in this video. Hi, my name is Erika Vieira. I'm a YouTube strategist and coach, having helped almost 2,000 women grow on YouTube. Today, I'm gonna do a casual get ready with me video where I'm gonna give you some inspiring and raw and brutal honesty about YouTube and why you should stop fooling around and go all in on your YouTube channel. You're gonna wanna stay to the whole thing because this video is jam-packed with stats, with information, and with the strategy that you need to know about now. Stop messing around. No, seriously. Stop messing around on all the other platforms. Stop messing around with your podcast. Stop messing around with Instagram and TikTok. I'm biased. Guys, I'm really biased and I love YouTube. I'm obsessed with YouTube. I've been working and producing YouTube channels for over 8 years now. And the reason why I'm so obsessed with YouTube, I'm gonna go into a lot of the reasons in this video, so you're gonna wanna watch the whole thing, because if you need a reason to go all in on YouTube, take it from someone like me, someone who has helped countless women go from literally making no money, being stay-at-home moms, or being retired, or being someone who's in school, or about to go into medical school, or about to jump into different endeavors, or working full-time, literally making nothing, to 6 figures in a year and beyond. And the opportunity that is YouTube is unprecedented compared to any other content creation platform. And I'm gonna give you a couple very specific reasons why. Are you aware of the fact that YouTube has more monthly users than any other platform? I was recently asked by somebody, and she's like, who's watching YouTube? She's like, I don't really watch YouTube. And she was interested in starting a YouTube channel. That's the first thing. If you're interested in starting a YouTube channel, you're gonna wanna watch YouTube. You gotta study the platform. You gotta know what's going on there. But she's like, who's watching it? And here's who's watching it. 2.5 billion people a month. 2.5 billion. Do you know how many people are on Instagram? I think it's 2 billion. And TikTok is like 1.5. Don't quote me on it. I'm gonna put actual numbers here to show you. And in Apple Podcasts, it's something like, I don't know, like 500,000, maybe less. And it just blows my mind that even when people say, oh, YouTube's dying, no, it's not dying. I'm gonna give you even more statistics to show you why YouTube is not dying. There are more active users on YouTube than any other platform. Let that sink in for a minute. There's more people that are watching YouTube than any other platform. And you know what I found was really interesting is that, and I talked about this in another video, and I'm gonna have my editor pop up the video because I can't remember exactly which one it is, but I spoke about how the first time ever a study came out that showed that people were actually having short form content fatigue, not creators, but consumers of content. They were feeling that kind of like brain rot of too much short form content. And for the first time ever, it showed that people actually consume less. Like people in their own admission said that they consume less and that they actually prefer longer form content. And I think that is going to be a trend that we're gonna be seeing. And so if have your content and you've been thinking about going onto YouTube, I do believe that long form content is gonna have a comeback. Not that it ever went away. That's the thing, not that it ever went away. I have clients and people making 7 figures a year from YouTube, and they have made more money from YouTube in the last few years than they ever have. So it's never gone away. It's this thing, it's not going anywhere. And that's the other amazing thing about YouTube is it's owned by Google. And no other platform can compete with that. You see what's going on with TikTok. One day it's here, one day it's not owned by the US. There's a lot of things going on that makes it very uncertain. And I feel bad for a lot of the TikTok creators, because it would suck to have an entire platform going away that you have worked very hard at. But I don't think YouTube's going anywhere. It's owned by Google. Google is a US-based company. Google is extremely powerful. And piggybacking off of that point, YouTube being owned and operated by Google makes it the second largest search engine on the web. And so what does that mean for you? It means that it is the best way organically to get found, and to get found long term. Here's one of the things that I have seen, and let me know in the description if you've experienced this being on other platforms, is that with YouTube, I always call it the hockey stick effect. It takes a little while to get going, but then over time, it will increase and you will gain momentum. With TikTok, and I think that's why a lot of people find it very exciting and appealing, is that, and sometimes Instagram, but not so much as with TikTok, is that you can literally blow up right away. But then it's more like this. It's like a blow up and then it's flat. And then you gotta constantly try and blow up and stay relevant. And that's the thing with TikTok, is that you have to constantly be figuring out, okay, what's gonna trend? How am I gonna stay relevant? Because those blow ups, they're not really sustainable long term. And that's where I think a lot of creators get sick of the churn and burn of sometimes daily content, multiple times a day content. And if that's you, let me know in the description. And the beauty of YouTube and it being owned and operated by Google is that it has this extremely powerful search engine capability behind it, which means that you can have content that gets found for months and years, which is incredible. I see it. I have clients that have had YouTube channels for 12, 14 years, and they are still getting paid from AdSense from those videos that they uploaded 12 years ago. And if they have any affiliates or any products or services associated with it, they're making sales from those videos. If you've watched any of my videos at all, I talk about, or you're in my YouTube bootcamp, I talk about the perpetual profit pipeline that YouTube is. I want you to think about YouTube as an investment that grows over time. So it's a long-term income asset. And instead of having to constantly upload and go viral like on TikTok or Instagram, I think of that more of a job. It's a paycheck. Whereas with YouTube, you are building this long-term income asset that will build up over time, like annuities that continue to pay you again and again, and also like compound interest. And this is why I always say the biggest thing that I hear from creators and business owners is that the number one regret that they have of the people that work with me, one is that they wish they found me sooner. But the second thing is that they wish they had started and gone all in with their YouTube channel sooner. And I did a whole video on business owners and being on YouTube, and you're gonna wanna check that out, because if you have a business at all that you're operating, you're gonna wanna watch that video. It's a very good video. But the thing is, the sooner you can get onto YouTube and start creating consistent content, the sooner that you can have the YouTube algorithm working for you, that you can start having those videos out there and having those investments in your future out there. Every single piece of content you upload onto YouTube. Keep in mind, I want to preface this as well by saying I'm really focusing on long form content here. So everything that I'm talking about, for the most part, shorts can actually, I have seen shorts continue to get picked up again and again, and they do pop up in browse and search, and not just a short feed. But that's a whole nother conversation. And I do find that shorts don't necessarily convert into subscribers and even into sales the way that long form content does. So for the most part, I am referring to long form content, and every single piece of long form content you put out there has that opportunity to possibly get picked up by the algorithm, and to get seen by people, and to get viewed by people, and to maybe go viral. I've had clients have videos that literally were stagnant for a year and they go viral a year later. No, I'm not exaggerating. And I see it happen actually quite often. It's not an anomaly. I actually see it happening a lot. And so getting onto YouTube and not crapping around. That's why I started this video. Stop crapping around on Instagram. Stop crapping around on TikTok. Honestly, most of the YouTubers that I work with that are committed to YouTube are really going all in on YouTube. And what exactly does that mean? What that means is to not waste time doing things that are not gonna move the needle for you. And in my opinion, and I'm biased, I'm very biased. I'm biased towards YouTube. And I've said this before. And the reason I'm so biased is because I have seen the incredible life-changing opportunities and income that come from a commitment and dedication to YouTube. I'm not mincing words. I'm not trying to sugarcoat things, but going all in means maybe taking a break from other platforms. It means maybe investing in yourself, whether it's an editor, whether it's my bootcamp or my coaching, whether it's someone to help you with thumbnails. It might mean making some tough choices and not going out for dinner for 3 months. That's not that big of a deal when you really think about how you can maybe take some of that money, invest it in yourself to create a long-term income asset that your future self will thank you for. And it's not easy, and I'm never one of those people or those YouTube experts that is going to say that YouTube is super easy and it's just something you can do on the side. I'm very realistic to say that if you want to, you can do that, but at some point you're gonna hit a wall and you're gonna be like, okay, I either have to go poo-poo or get off the pot. And usually going poo or getting off the pot usually means going all in and not wasting time on other platforms and investing in yourself so that you can really give YouTube your all. And like I was saying, what's 3 months? What's 90 days of, okay, you're not gonna go shopping, you're not gonna buy any new clothes for yourself, maybe no new makeup. I guess if you're a beauty YouTuber or fashion YouTuber, no. But anything you don't need to spend money on, maybe it's not going on that fancy vacation or that one trip for that year. And I'm being completely brutally honest. If things were so easy on YouTube, to be honest, everyone would be doing it, and not everybody is. And that is also one of the great opportunities of YouTube, especially if you have some kind of a service-based business or an online business or an offline business or product you're gonna sell, is that most people are not willing to get onto YouTube. Now, one of my clients, Emily, she is a physician's assistant and she's an aesthetic injector. She does Botox, Sculptra, filler, all that kind of stuff. One of the things that she says is that YouTube has given her so many different opportunities, and that other injectors and people in her space, they're so crowded on Instagram, they're all over TikTok, but none of them are on YouTube. And I'm truly one of the only people on YouTube. Yes, there's a handful of them, but when you compare it to the number of the aesthetic injectors that are on Instagram, it's so minute. And she's gotten business from all over the world coming to her in LA to see her and to have them give them Botox and Sculptra. And she's also had opportunities from different brands and just so many other opportunities because she made that leap of faith and she got onto YouTube. So you might be in a field or industry where there's not a lot of people on YouTube, or maybe there are a handful of people, but there's still far more of those people on Instagram and on TikTok, because YouTube is not for the faint of heart. Most people do not have the patience and stamina to stay on YouTube. And for those of you that do, you end up seeing opportunities that other people just don't see, that the crowded spaces of TikTok and Instagram, it's a dime a dozen over there. And so it blows my mind that people are even spending any time at all and not going onto YouTube if they're creating any content. All right, I had to put my lashes on offline because otherwise I won't be able to put them on and talk at the same time. One of the things that people always tell me is that they wish they would have started sooner, or they wish they would have found me sooner. And I always tell this to people all the time. Your future self is gonna thank you. And I tell this to my kids too, with just teaching them daily habits and lessons, is that decision that you make to go all in on your channel, your future self, a year from now, 2 years from now, is going to thank you for that decision. And Emily, she said, I'm so grateful I made that leap of faith and I got onto YouTube when I did. And it's never too late. There are so many more opportunities that are still to come on YouTube. I'm gonna put a number up here because I can't remember exactly what it is, but there is a massive amount of money spent on advertising on YouTube. I think it's like 22 billion if I remember correctly. And that number continues to grow year over year. I think that there was a 14% increase in advertising money spent on YouTube. So that means that brands, advertisers that spend a lot of time, energy, and money trying to figure out where to put their advertising dollars are convinced YouTube is the place that it needs to be. And if those brands think that YouTube is where they should be, I think that's a really good sign that YouTube is thriving, it's alive and well, and it's continuing to grow year after year. And another thing that I find very interesting is that YouTube is larger than Netflix. Netflix has something like, I don't know, I want to say 300 something million paid subscribers, and YouTube has 2.5 billion monthly users. Like, granted, Netflix is a paid service and YouTube is free, but still that is a massive difference. And I believe that part of the reason is because people love the community that YouTube brings. And so as a content creator, one of the amazing opportunities you have with YouTube is building a community around your beliefs, around your values. I talk about this with my boot campers all the time. And I actually go into detail in this in my next free live class, where I talk about the strategy that I'm using to grow my channels in 2025 for the channels I produce. So you're gonna wanna check that out as well. But there is such an amazing opportunity for people and creators to build that community. And Netflix, Disney Plus, they can't touch that. YouTube has so many more viewers than either one of those. And I believe it has a whopping like 11.1% of all TV viewership. YouTube does, surpassing other streaming services like Disney Plus and Netflix. So it's massive. I mean, there's nothing out there like YouTube. And if you're looking for a reason, I think I gave you a bunch of reasons why you should get onto YouTube. But that perpetual profit pipeline, that opportunity of being able to upload a video and have it pay for you for weeks and months and years, there's nothing else like it. And part of the reason I'm so incredibly passionate about this topic is because I have a very unique access to very successful creators and creators that I help build up their channels and what they're making, not just through AdSense. AdSense is just one. And I talk a lot on this channel about making money because to me, YouTube is far too much energy and work to not be making money from it. That's a big reason why people come on this platform and they're creating content. Yes, it's community, but you want to make an income and you want to make that life-changing income that can be wealth building and help your families. And I get to see firsthand what people are making from AdSense, what people are making from brand deals, what people are making from affiliates of all different channel sizes, what people are making from by selling their own products and services on small channels even. You don't have to even have a massively large channel. Take my channel, for example. It has supported my business, which I generated multiple seven figures from my business. And I haven't even been consistent because my number one is the channels I produce. It is my clients, and I've been very blessed and grateful to have such a thriving business. But the YouTube channel is still there, churning in the background, and now I am creating consistent content for it. And it's an amazing lead generation. And so if you are that business owner, it just makes sense to be on YouTube, because most businesses, most people are not willing to do it. They're not willing to do the work. They're not willing to have the patience. And it really does require some strength and patience, because the going does get tough. You're gonna get those moments where you're gonna have videos that don't get views, where you're gonna have maybe a few negative comments, where you're gonna have maybe your niche and what you do is slightly falling out of favor and you need to pivot. I have that happen all the time. I have a lot of people that come to me that still wanna be on YouTube, but they've gotta figure out how to pivot. And you can do that on YouTube. There's a lot of opportunity to be able to do that. But you have to have that patience with YouTube, especially at the beginning. If you're not seeing results. I did another video on this topic, but it's growing a garden. Like, you don't see any results for a while. Like, there's no plants or seeds. You're putting the seeds in there, you're doing all the work, and you don't see anything for a while. And then when that garden grows and it's beautiful, sometimes it takes a while. You're glad that you spent that time and energy at the beginning. But if you aren't consistent with it and you're not watering it, you're not giving it what it needs, that garden's gonna die. It requires you to have that commitment and that patience in order to see that long-term hockey stick effect, that growth. And the other thing that's so incredible about YouTube, beyond making money, is just the visibility that you gain. I've been talking to different clients and people, and for some people their goal is to have speaking opportunities. And for others, their goal is to maybe have some kind of a Netflix show, or to maybe have a book deal, or even an actual product that they're creating. The visibility that you gain on YouTube, and not just the visibility, but that connection that you're able to make with people, can really open up doors for you. It can open up doors for your business. Opportunities and dreams you have no idea about that even exists. But because you're on YouTube, and because you've got this long form content and eventually growing a loyal, engaged audience, it's gonna bring opportunities beyond just making money, right? It's gonna bring that visibility. And I do believe that there's no other better platform to establish your own personal brand than YouTube. Every single business, like I said, I'm biased, but I think every business should be on YouTube. There's no question about it. And especially bringing the human side, that humanity side of your business, as the rise of AI and how things are just gonna become very, automated. There's what's going on with AI. But for you to open up the doors to your business and maybe show behind the scenes or show more of the humanity side of it, I think is gonna be increasingly important as time goes on. And I'm already seeing that. I'm already seeing businesses and business owners, small businesses, being like, yeah, I gotta get onto YouTube. Because what you want is, you're not wanting people to necessarily connect with the product. Yes, you need to create a good product and service, but you're wanting really people to connect with you. So they wanna buy your product, so they wanna work with your services. And I do believe that having a presence on YouTube can really help with that connection and that humanity. I want to end this as I'm wrapping up my makeup look with really encouraging you. And hopefully this was motivating you and encouraging you to take that leap of faith, because it 100% is a leap of faith. I always say that all people on YouTube are slightly delusional, and that delusion is actually needed. I've heard it like the Delulu is a Salulu, because you have to be like a little bit like maybe 7% delusional to think that people want to watch you on YouTube. And I think that's a good thing. We all are a little bit delusional because the vast majority of the population out there is not willing to come onto YouTube. A lot of them aren't even willing to create content, but let alone create content on YouTube. Most people find it much easier to just do short form content. And I get it, but if you've been doing it for a while, there's no excuse. You're not a beginner, or if you are a beginner, then start with YouTube. Don't waste your time fiddling around with the other platforms. I get so many people, and it's because I have this unique opportunity and unique vantage point that I get a lot of people coming to me who are on the other platforms. They're sick of TikTok. They're over Instagram. Apparently, I feel like I hear a different story every other week about the Instagram algorithm, and now they're punishing you for this, or they want you for this. Like the YouTube algorithm, for the most part, it doesn't change. It really doesn't change, which is actually good for me, for my job, because once you understand it, and it doesn't really change. And it really boils down to creating really good content, delivering on the promise that you give in the thumbnail and title, and getting those clicks. And that's it. And I get those people from the other platforms that are sick of the other platforms and that don't want to be churning out content every single day or 4 or 5 times a week. They're just over it, or having to be on stories. How exhausting. I saw something on Instagram and they're saying like, yeah, we really want you to use and utilize all aspects of Instagram. We want you to be doing threads, and we want you to be on stories, and we want you to do reels. Like, ugh. Personally, that just seems awful. Be on those platforms like all day, every day. First of all, every time you get on there, you probably get distracted by other reels and posts and stuff. So then you're wasting time being distracted, looking at it. And then you've got to post, and then you've got to be on there. And people are sick of it. They're over it. And I get a lot of people. And I also get a lot of people that have seen a lot of success on Instagram, but they know that there is more opportunity for them on YouTube. Like, they're like, okay, I think I've hit a ceiling with how much I can earn on Instagram. And they know that there's a lot of untapped opportunities still. One of my clients, she has a channel that is all about feeding babies, or teaching parents how to feed their 6 to 12-month-old babies. And it's called Baby-Led Weaning. And she had a very successful podcast. She still has one. And she has also a very large Instagram account. She has, I think, over 500,000 on Instagram. And has done very well for herself in that business. But I know I need to get onto YouTube. I know. So she hired me to launch her YouTube channel. And sure enough, I saw her, and she's, you know what? I am making more from at the time when she told me this, it was like 20,000. My 20,000 YouTube subscribers, now she's at 30,000. 20,000 YouTube channel, my small YouTube channel, than both my podcast and Instagram combined. And she's not the only one. I have multiple other clients that tell me that it's because of their YouTube. That is the true moneymaker for them. That's where they know they get the most conversion with affiliates. That's where they know they get the most sales, where they get the higher priced brand deals. I see people coming from the other platforms and telling me, I'm sick of it, there's too much change, I want to make more money with YouTube. And I also see what happens when people go all in on YouTube and they end up seeing the income that they want. They end up making those 6-7 figures a year. So I want that for you. You're here, you're watching this video, and I want you to see that success that you want. And so you owe it to yourself that if you've been crapping around with YouTube, you owe it to yourself to go all in and just give it 90 days. Just give it 90 days. Just say, you know what, for the next 90 days, I am going to upload once a week. Or better yet, if you can, for the next 90 days, I am going to upload twice a week. And I'm going to give it my all. I'm going to maybe not go on that vacation. I'm going to make those sacrifices so that my future self will thank me. And see what happens. Maybe join my bootcamp. I've got the waitlist underneath. Do something. It's like taking that action. They say inspired action. And you've got to just take that action and do it. and stop talking about it, stop planning it, and just finally get onto YouTube. Be committed. Say, okay, I'm gonna upload twice a week for the next 90 days. That's it. I'm not gonna think even further from that. I'm gonna go all in, and this is your sign. This is your sign to do it. So that's it. Here is the completed and finished look. Thanks for hanging out with me. I hope that you got inspired today. I hope that you made that decision to go all in on YouTube. Let me know in the comments below. And what's next? If you want to work with me a little bit more closely, the waitlist for my YouTube bootcamp is now open. I have the link in the description below. I'm also hosting a free class where I am sharing all of my strategies here in 2025. And I will see you in the next video. Mwah.